lot of different theories coming from you guys. Let's talk about some of them. Lauren, what was your table talking about? Where did sand come from? Where do we get sand from? If you think that sand came first, where would it come from?
Girls in science is always a tough issue for us as teachers, science teachers. It's something that is a problem nationally, especially at this age group in middle school. A lot of girls, they may be strong and enjoy science up to this point, but in and after middle school, that's when their interest in science begins to wane. And so as a teacher, it's one of my concerns is to make sure I keep my students, all of my students, engaged in science, regardless of what their gender is.
And so you were saying, kind of similar to what they were saying, salt and dirt, but salt and mud? Okay. And Tia, what about you?
We were saying that at first, what if sand was made first before sandstone?
Okay.
And we are saying that we think that the sand came from different rocks that rushes off and all the powder from it.
Okay.
And all the little pieces come together, and that's what makes sand.
So different rocks.
Different rocks.
And what are they doing to make the sand?
Like when they get chipped and they get broken into little pieces,
Uh-huh.
and then the powder comes off, and they get broken into real little pieces, and it all comes together to make sand.
In my experience, I think historically it's been that science has been perceived as, there's always been the stereotype of the white male who's worn the lab coat. And I think that's something we need to break as a society. One thing that we can do to help to combat those stereotypes is showcase to our students historical figures in science, people who've made great strides in the field, and show them that it really is a heterogeneous field. There are a lot of women in science. There are a lot of minorities in science. And the more we show that to our students, I think the more they will realize that I can do that too. There are also programs that allow students such as Girls in Science to meet with role models or mentors, women who are currently in the field, who are PhDs working in the laboratory, for them, again, to make that connection with a real live human being who maybe 20, 30 years ago was just like them, was a middle school student and wondering whether or not science was for them. And if they can see someone else took this path and got there and is successful, it may just, again, help to lower those barriers.
So what's inside a submarine? Besides people?
Air.
Air, right.
A lot of air.
There's various layers to the science clubs. We first have the volunteers, which without the volunteers, we wouldn't be able to run the science clubs. And the volunteers are female volunteers. We target female scientists, female professionals. We target women from university, undergrad or graduate in science, math, engineering fields. And they work with a group of about 8 to 10 girls. Another aspect of our program, which we find is a very important aspect, is the junior assistants. And they are 8th graders to high school girls who sort of take on a role as mentors in addition to being mentored by the volunteers. We focus a lot on leadership training. We focus a lot on sort of job skills and responsibilities. And the idea is that they plan the lessons with their volunteers and they teach the lessons along with the volunteers to the club members.
So what we're going to do today is make our own submarines using plastic bottles. So the first thing I want you guys to do is take these tubs and fill them with water.
Go ahead, Amanda.
The difference with having an all-girls club is that the comfort level among the girls is a huge factor in helping the girls to feel that they can actually do the activities.
It's not that heavy. The air is not stuck inside.
Okay, why doesn't one of you guys take this water bottle, fill the whole thing with water?
All the way.
All the way.
All the way?
Uh-huh. So you want this?
Ow. See, it's still floating.
But what happens if you take the water out?
Watch.
Does it float the same way?
It floats even more.
Wait, watch. Yeah, but does it float the same? See, what happens when you took the water out? It floats more. So what's water doing?
Giving it weight.
It's giving it weight. Thank you. Yay. So do you think you should put more coins on it?
Yeah, but on this side.
Why would you put coins on that side?
Because that part's floating.
Well,
if you put probably and probably because we need deeper water.
Deeper water would probably help a lot.
A lot of girls don't see female mentors in science, and so this is an opportunity for them to specifically see someone that they can relate to, being a mentor in science.
Want to blow again?
Okay. Yeah.
It's floating, right? So your experiment has succeeded.
They definitely see themselves being more comfortable and more able to perform in their regular science classes.
This one has all these nice shiny minerals. And you look at this one look rough.
Y'all put them all together, right?
The little pieces look wasted.
I didn't like science in elementary school, but now in middle school I do, because in elementary you just read in books, but here in middle school you get to do experiments. Working with experiments than just reading out a book is more interesting, because that way you have a feeling of like how something is made and formed than just reading a book, because reading a book is just telling you like, oh, this is how it was made and da-da-da. But then if you're doing an experiment, it's like you know exactly how it was really, really made. It's like you made it.
That's what I be thinking.
If I had a student who was interested in science and loved science and loved my science class, but said, oh, I could never do that because, for whatever reason, because I don't think a girl can do that, or because, oh, I think I should do a quote-unquote more girl job, I would tell them they're too young, first of all, to close doors like that, that if they enjoy it, if it's interesting to them, then they should hold on to that, because that's really going to take them a lot further. Their love, their passion, their interest is going to take them a long way, and they should be willing to follow their dreams and don't let anyone tell them they can't do it.